others. All right, so we are recording now. Let's go ahead and get started. So first off, quick introduction about me. My name's Casey Salgi. I am currently an Emerald with this organization with Kyani. I've been in this profession for close to a decade and had some pretty good success in the company. I'll share my screen, just give you some quick credentials here just so that you guys know why I'm saying what I'm saying, and then hopefully it will be useful to you. Like, okay, does this guy actually know anything? So here's two magazines that I was featured on the cover of, Success from Home magazine. This was back-to-back years. And so there I am over there on the top left, and then over here on the left-hand side of this one. And that was with another company that I was with. We were in the top 350 out of 350,000 people in that company. When we first got started, we were just like you are right now. We're wet behind the ears, just got started, don't know what we're doing. And we also got featured inside of it. So there's myself, my wife, two of our kids. We've since had a third kid, and our fourth kid will be here in about 4 weeks. And yes, then we're done. So 4 is my limit. I'm going to make sure of it too. So just absolutely amazing what this profession has done for my family and I. My wife is retired. She was a school teacher for 10 years. And then I was, or have been in corporate America for about 20. And that's all coming to a close as well, and should be wrapping up my corporate career at the end of this year, maybe first couple weeks into next year on our transition. And then I'm out of corporate America, retired, and I will be 42 years old next week. So it's been amazing. Now, the way I got there was I wasn't born with some unbelievable, crazy skill set. I can't throw a football very far, none of that. What I am very good at, though, is building systems. And that's what actually landed me on that cover, is being able to build systems. I do it in corporate America at a $16 billion chemical company, and I have applied everything I learned being able to do that and those philosophies into what we do here in network marketing. So if you've ever done network marketing and you're looking at this, you might say, well, I've seen this before, I've done all this. I can just about guarantee that you haven't done it this way. And so that's what this launch is for, is to show you the process. So you that have just gotten started, or somebody's been in for a while and looking to be relaunched, or, you know, what I've done in the past hasn't worked to my satisfaction. Either way, this is the event for you to be at. So congratulations on being there. So what we're going to go over today is, I've got a slideshow that I put this together. This is for keeping me on track as well, so I don't go down too many rabbit holes. But this is also meant to be interactive. If you have questions, ask me those questions. Interact with me, because that question is probably a question that somebody else has, and that'll help them out as well. So let me share my screen again here, and we will switch over to the presentation. And we'll get that started up. So what we're going to start with is something called a plan on a page, all right? And it's going to be a single document that's going to be kind of your map on what it is that you need to be doing in this business. Everything you need is on this page. And the main idea of this is so that somebody can just get started, simply see what it is that they're tasked with doing, and then if they can do that part, everything comes together. So the first thing that we're going to do on this, and I'll go ahead and show all of these here so that you can see them all, but we're going to go through all of these items, all right? So starting with your why. Why is it that you decided to invest $599 or $1,299 to be able to get your business started? Why did you do that? What was the purpose of it? Were you in this to make some more money? Were you in this to help your family? Were you looking for accomplishment? Were you looking to be able to have some time off so you go play golf? Do you want to send somebody to college? You know, what is the reason that you're doing this? That's the very first thing that you need to start with, because if you don't have that clear, then it doesn't matter what I say for the rest of this time period. It's not going to matter. It's going to go in one ear and out the other, and that's not what I'm about. My goal, my mission with this business is to impact 200,000 lives. Now, I'm not going to go out and do that directly with 200,000 individual people. I'm going to do that through people in our organization, people like you, that I'm going to teach you guys a way to be able to build a system that goes out there and does that. That's my purpose. That's what I'm doing this for. That's my why. It drives me. It gets me up out of bed every day. It allows me the fuel to be able to do what it is that we do in this business. And I do a lot in this business. I do a lot for this organization because I'm driven for that. If I didn't have a reason why I was doing it, then I'm not going to take that action. I got a real nice house. I got a real comfortable couch. I got a real big TV. I can sit there and just, be completely good there, but that's not enough for me. Everybody's different in what they want. And I'm going to spend a little time on this because this is such a key step that is glossed over because sorry about that, hit the mute button. They want to get to the stuff. Get to the stuff. I don't need to know all this mamby-pamby feel-good stuff. You do. You must be crystal clear in why you got started. And it's not for money. Okay? Money might be the object. It might be the fuel. It might be the tool to get you to the thing, but it's not the thing. The thing needs to be something deeper. It needs to be, what are you going to do with that money? My goal is to make $1 million a week. Okay. Some people look at that and say, you're crazy, or some people go off the rail. You're money hungry. Not it at all. They don't have a clue about me. The reason I want that money, it's not the money. It's what I can do with the money. It's to be able to go out and impact even more lives. It's to be able to go out and buy 100 acres on the south side of Houston and set up a veterans village. To be able to just stroke a check for that, hand it to the foundation and say, hey, I got the land. Y'all go ahead and do what you need to do. Let's go ahead and take care of that hurdle. And that was this week. And then next week I can go do that for something else and knock out another problem. That's why I do it. The next thing that you got to have is and I call that the destination. I say that's where we're going. Now, to do that, just thinking about that's not all there is to it. There's three things that you need. You got to know where you want to go. That is key. If you're going on a trip, you got to know where you want to go. I want to go to Miami. Cool. Now we know where we're going, because if I'm in Houston and I start traveling west, it's going to take me a whole lot longer to get to Miami than if I would just go east. So it's good to know that up front on where you want to go so we can get you there quicker. Then the next thing you need a vehicle that'll get you there. You now have the vehicle. I'm going to show you that today. You've got a vehicle called Kyani that's going to be able to help you get to the destination that you set out. And then the other thing I'm going to do, and that you must have, is you got to know how to drive the vehicle. That's what tonight is all about. You've already got the why. It's probably buried in there somewhere. I want to help get that out today and make it clear. You've got the vehicle because you're on this webinar, and that means you're in the business. You probably just got started. And then the next thing is, once you have those two things, people don't make their destination because they don't know how to drive the car, or they think they know how to drive the car and they're doing it wrong. And they get burned out, they have a wreck, they have an accident, and then the vehicle's no good, they're no good, and they sure as heck don't get to Miami. Okay? So let's dig in and focus on where you want to go. And I'll start with that. Does anybody want to practice with me? Does anybody want to help go with me and show an example of how we can dig in to get to a destination? This will be a real powerful exercise. It'll be good to be able to share, because what it'll do is people will experience it. And until you experience it, it's just words that are coming out of my mouth, going over the internet and coming out on your speakers. But would anybody like to partner up with me here real quick, and let's dig in and let's figure out your why? Or maybe somebody already has it crystal clear and they just want to share. Anybody want to do that? Got 14 people on here. I bet somebody will do it.
I'll jump in, Casey.
Thank you, Tara. What you got?
So I'll tell you my why, and then I'll let you dig in on it so we can hone it in. So what I want to do is, can you hear that echo too? Does that echo? Does David?
No,
okay.
You're golden.
Okay, I just want to make sure David's phone wasn't echoing from the other room. So basically my why is, I want enough money to be able to travel the world in my own jet. Whenever I want to go somewhere, I get up, I go, and I get to be able to stay at that place for however long I choose to see fit. When I'm at that place, though, wherever this will be around the world, it will be where I'm impacting others. So so I have significance. So significance is very important to me, but also I like to have a nice roof over my head, or stay in a nice place, or eat nice food, or whatever. So I know that takes money. So at the end of the day, my why is to be able to travel the world wherever I want to, but making an impact. After I came out of Saturday, my new motto is M&M. That's 1 million every minute. And what that means is I want $1 million a minute, and I want to impact 1 million lives a minute. And that is what I'm going after. So Steve Harvey talks about how he embroiders in 3.5 into all of his custom suits and things like that he does. And so I'm a firm believer in visualization as well. And so now I constantly am writing MM, because that's what I want, is 1 million lives impacted a minute with $1 million coming in a minute.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So hopefully that's impacted you. Some people will come in and not have it as clear. And Tara's been in this thing here for a couple of months, and she is an absolute amazing leader. She is taken to this like a duck to water, man. It's unbelievable. And when she first got started, the goals and the desires were not as high, and they weren't as clear. And now she spent a lot of time on this, and it's very important to do so. And that's what's kept her in this fight, and it keeps her growing. It has her online tonight when she's already a sapphire in the organization. That's a car qualified position. And she's still on here digging into this, coming to the trainings and staying hungry because she knows what it does for her. So that's awesome, Tara. I appreciate you sharing that. And like you said, I would like to dig in that. I want to know more behind that, on why is that important to you to be able to do?
So today, prime example, I was working and I heard somebody, and I thought it was the construction people across the street, but it kept on coming. So I was like, what is that noise? And it sounded like somebody yelling help. So I walked outside, and there was this gentleman pushing a wheelchair around, and I could tell he was blind. And it's actually going to make me cry. He was lost. He didn't know how to get where he needed to go. He was waiting on somebody to pick him up from Dr. Roth, who was next door, and he was literally yelling help because he didn't know where he could go. So I walked out and I asked him, sir, do you need some help? He says, yes, I'm trying to meet my ride and I don't know where. I'm supposed to meet him at the doctor's office. I said, okay, have you been to the doctor? He says, yes, I do. Do you know the doctor's name? No. So anyways, long story short, after finding out where he needs to be, I assisted the man down to where he needed to be, which is, maybe 50 yards. And in that journey, I asked him, I said, would you like me to would you like to sit in the chair so I could push you there? I'm here to help you. And he says, no, I like to walk. If you could guide me so I don't run into anything. I said, absolutely. And as we're walking, he's telling me how he's been on dialysis for 11 years, that he's hurt his hand, and you looked at his hand, there was nothing wrong with it. So it was an internal issue. And my point in that, it really flooded into me today, was I was struck by, there are so many people in this world that need our help, and I want to help them.
That's awesome.
And the only way I can do that is if I got money in the bank. So I can go out there and help the less fortunate, like this gentleman. Maybe if I did have the money, and knowing that he probably doesn't have the money, be able to impact and change his lives by getting something like this in front of him. And if he didn't have the money, be able to sponsor him to do so, because at that point, money's no object. So mine is significance. It's really to help people. Like, I hate seeing the homeless. I hate seeing starving people. It kills me. It tugs at my heartstrings. And I feel helpless because I can't do anything because I don't have the money behind it. And so I always thought it was money, and it wasn't. It's the significance, but I understand I have to have that money in order to make the difference.
It definitely makes it go faster. You were significant to him today. That didn't take any money, but to be able to do it on a bigger scale, it does, because you got to take care of your needs. You've got to take care of your bills. You got to have a roof over your head. You got to have, your lights, your food, your transport, different things. And if you got to trade time right now to work at a job to get that, love it, man, do what you got to do. But if this could be the thing that goes in and replaces that to free you up so that you can go then make and take that time that you were spending at a 9-to-5 or a career that you're in now that might not be exactly what you want to do. That's the part that I really encourage you all, like Tara has done and bared her soul to you all. That's awesome. I appreciate that. And Whoo, you had me batting them away, girl. You almost got me, and that's not hard
I
to
was
do.
working on it.
It's not hard to get me with the waterworks, man. I will be a sniveling mess right there with you, and I love it. So way cool, way cool. So y'all could feel that, right? That's not just talking about a why. Y'all just experienced that, and if y'all weren't helping her push that guy in the wheel or wanting him to sit down and get in the wheelchair to push him down, then you weren't living at this moment, or you were distracted. But be focused on that, and you'll experience it. Such a key step. Such a key step in what we do. So Tara, thank you so much for sharing that. That's awesome. So let me show you how that all fits in. You got your why figured out. If you don't yet, this isn't easy. Some people think should be simple. I thought it should be simple. I struggled with this for a long time, and it revises constantly. The revisions that I go through on what my why is a ever-changing destination. You ever decide that you're going on a trip, and then on your way there, you're like, I wouldn't mind stopping off over here at Baton Rouge and maybe get some beignets. That wasn't on my original plan, but man, I'm gonna make a little detour here. I'm gonna go solve that real quick, and then I can continue on down the trip to Miami. Or you get to Miami, you say, man, we're here. Let's go hit the Keys too. Let's go see what Jimmy Buffett's always singing about. And be able to adjust that as you go. So don't feel that this has got to be locked in stone forever, but it does need to be crystal clear to you now, and you will revise it as you go. But don't shortchange this. Don't say, I'll get back to this. Spend the time here on that. It's so important. So the next thing that we're going to do after you get your whys, we're going to figure out your list. And this list is going to be your raw material that you're going to work on. And it's going to be simple to do. I'll show you how to do that here in just a second, just names. And then once you have that list, then you're going to get into a cycle. You're going to get into a repeatable cycle on where you're going to run into these people in some form or fashion. And you're simply going to build rapport with them. And I'll define all these in great detail as we go through this training today. Then you're going to make sure as you're building rapport, you'll eventually get to a point where you'll hear something from that person that they might want to be able to fix. And when you find that thing that they want to fix, if it's something that we can help them with Kyani, then we will pique their interest by saying, hey, is that something that you really want to fix? I heard what you said. Do you want to fix that? They'll say yes or no. And if they say yes, then we're going to say great. Then we're going to edify and pass the ball to another person that will be able to fix that for them. So that's the extent of what you're going to do. That's the high level, big pieces of what you're going to do. We're going to figure out your why. You're going to have a list. And then once we have that, we'll get into action where you're literally reaching out to these people, having a conversation with them. When the conversation gets to a certain point and it's something that we can help them with, you're going to pique their interest and say, hey, is this something you might be interested in sorting out? If so, I know somebody. And it's like, yeah. I say, great. Let me introduce you. That's the extent of this system. Okay. So all of that can be found here on this page. This is the plan on a page. All right. So plan on a page, and you'll see a number here because I want you to get this page, and I want you to have 4 pages of this. When you do that, you'll notice that you would then have 20 names to be able to work with. All right. We'll start with 1. You might not have this in front of you right now. Let me first show you where you can go to get this. Okay. So I've got a page here of notes, and this link that I'm going to put in the chat channel here of our discussion. So this is going to go to everybody. You should see this flash on your screen, and you should be able to go in there and copy and paste that and be able to save that or open up another browser window with it. But this is the page that you'll go to. And when I click on that, it goes to this page. And I'll show you what this looks like. This is Casey Salgi's Power Hour page. And there's a lot of good information that's on there. And if you'll scroll a little bit on this page, you'll come down to, it'll load up here in just one second. Still having some internet issues. All right, so here it comes. So this page will show up. If you'll click on that little link right there, it'll pop out, and you'll be able to download this page to your computer, and you can simply print this out. So just go to this website, sites.google.com/view/power-hour/home, or just copy and paste it off of the chat session that I just sent out to you all. And you simply scroll down, click on this, and you'll have that information. So so what's on it? First off is the box at the top. That's your why. Those are your desires. What Tara just mentioned, she'll put a big old M and another big old M in there. All right. And I'm completely fine with you just putting something like that, just some stick figures if you wanted to. You just simply come in here and you can just start writing in this thing. Okay. Because that right there, M&M, if you just saw that, you really like, what the heck is that? And if you're not educated and you don't know your alphabet, you look at that and you're like, I don't know, what is that, like 2 valleys, or is that 2 mountaintops or 4 mountaintops? Or all it is me scratching some stick figure, you know, a stick in the sand, and that means something. When you write this in, if you wrote in something more profound than just 2 M&Ms to you, from a profound from a perspective of, you know, you wrote 100 words in this little box. Whatever you do, the key to this thing is all that's going to do is trigger something in your mind that you can see. When Tara writes M&M, she doesn't see the letters M&M. She sees a jet. She sees it flying around the world. She sees the impact of what she's going to be able to do. The M&M is just the thing that gets her to remember what that is. That's what goes in your box there. The next thing that you have on the plan on a page is you have where the names go. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is, if you have a sheet of paper, go ahead and write out 5 names right now. If you don't have a sheet of paper, get one. If you've got the plan on a page, you can fill it out. If you just have a sheet of paper, just grab a sheet of paper and a pen and write out 5 names for me. And let's go ahead and do that right now. Simply write 5 names. All right, we'll take another 10 seconds to do this. Okay, everybody good? You got your video on? Do you have your 5 names? Give me a thumbs up if you do. Yeah, April's got it. Good deal. All right, so I'll assume everybody else did. Mindy's got her thumb up. Excellent. I'll assume everybody else did as well. So some of you might have struggled with that. Some of you might have grabbed your phone and start, you know, looking for names and then sit there and like start thinking about a whole bunch of different things. Did anybody have any trouble with that, or was it real simple just to write out 5 names? April, how about you?
Very simple.
You just wrote them out. Good for you. Excellent. I love it. I love it.
I actually have it here.
Good. Fantastic. I love it. I love it. Now, sometimes what happens when we do this exercise is that you start getting in your own head. You start getting in the way of what we're doing here. Okay. And it's really easy to do. So what I want to do is make sure that this guy, the terrorist, doesn't get a hold of you. So I want to talk about him now. Okay. Because he's going to be your biggest nemesis in this business. And I'll go ahead and extrapolate that and say the biggest nemesis in your life. Okay. This guy is responsible for a lot of pain and agony. Here's his MO. All right. He's constantly sneaking up on you. All right. He's constantly telling you things like you can't do that. Now here's where he hangs out. He sits right here on your shoulder and he talks into this ear right here. And he's doing it all the time. Some of you are aware of him. Unfortunately, a lot of people on the planet are unaware of this little guy. I usually use a lot worse words, but I'll be nice tonight. He'll also say things like, you've never achieved something like that. Someday you might get to do something fun like that. You don't have time. You're too busy. You're too busy. That's knowing what he's going to say next. What if you fail? What if this doesn't work? Okay. This guy is going to be barking in your ear all the time, especially anytime you get something new started. His job in life, your terrorist, His job in life is to keep you in a nice little box, right there where it's nice and safe and warm. Nothing happens there. It's the same old, day in and day out, routine, not changing anything about your day, just keeping you exactly where you're at right now. He is constantly fighting to keep you right there. Now, here's the deal. Here's who he is. He's your past. He's all the nonsense that you've gone through in your life, all rolled up into one. And he is the source of where all that voice comes from that's constantly speaking negative things or keeping you safe. The people that are trying to protect you. What they're trying to do is keep you in a box so that you are categorized and labeled and fit into their understanding of the world. And if you start going and doing something crazy, they're going to call you out and say, you're crazy. You're not going to be able to succeed in this. Excuse me. You're probably going to fail. Those things don't work. Why are you doing that? You've got a good job. Why are you wasting time on this? Come out with us to the bar. Come out with us to the club. Stay out a little bit later when you know you don't want to. Keep doing the same stuff that makes me feel comfortable with you. You will hear that a lot. That's other people's terrorists talking through your friend and talking at your terrorist. And you get two terrorists together and you got yourself a big old problem. What you got to do is you need to get rid of yours and you need to get rid of somebody else's too, or at least make them aware of it so they'll stop talking nonsense. All right? So be aware of this guy. He's the one that's going to keep you out of action. He's the one that's going to say, you don't really need to do all this. You're good. This sounds like work. This sounds like something that you're not going to be good at, or you're going to be uncomfortable doing this, or this isn't going to work. Here's the facts. This works really, really stinking good. I got 2 Mercedes-Benz to show you and prove you that it works really, really good. I've got a 5,000 square foot house to prove to you that this works really, really good. I've got myself getting retired out of corporate America after 20 years. This works really, really good. So it's not a matter of if it works or not. It's a matter of if you're going to let this little bastard get a hold of you. My job is to put a bullet between his eyes when he's sitting on your shoulder. I'm here to help you do that. And then I'm going to show you how you can do that yourself. Now, here's the deal. You can't kill him. You can wound him. You can get him to shut up for a little bit, but he'll be back. He always comes back. What happens is the time that it takes for him to regenerate takes longer and longer, the better and better you get at this. The very first time you rode a bike, your little terrorist was sounding all sorts of alarm bells and klaxons and all kinds of stuff telling you, you can't do this, you're going to fall down, you're going to break your head open, you're going to scrape your knee, you can't make all these things work at the same time, that bike's as tall as you are, that concrete's hard, blah, 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 blah. But here's what kept you in the game long enough to figure out how to ride that bike. You had a desire. You wanted to go somewhere. You now had a vehicle to do it. You just needed to learn how to ride the bike. So what'd you do? You fell down. You scraped your knee. Here's the most important thing that happened next. You got back on the bike. Why? Because you had a desire. All your friends were over there partying like rock stars, running around on their bike, going down to the mailbox or to the tree at the end of the road, and here you are stuck in your front driveway. So what did that do? It lit a fire, and you took action, and you kept doing it until you got it. That's pretty powerful stuff for a 3 or 4-year-old. Here's the deal. We forget how to do that the older we get. Why? Because we get comfortable. We get our dreams beat out of us constantly. You remember when everybody wanted to be an astronaut, a fireman, or a president. Then what happened? Then we turned into whatever it is we're doing today. We settled. Why? Because life beat us up. Why? Because we allowed it to. We let this guy win. We let our parents' version of this win. So here's the deal. Now that you're aware of it, you got to listen for him. Like I said, he's sneaky. He's got like these special little shoes. He just shows up. Where'd he come from? And he's running your whole day. You get to lunchtime, you're like, I haven't done anything I wanted to do today. You let him win. So you got to be aware of this guy. You got to be aware of him. Okay. So I asked all of y'all to get in there and write down your names. You get at least 5. Make sure you don't let this little fella show up, get a hold of you. Because what will happen is when I tell you to write 5, you're going to start analyzing some things. You're going to start thinking. You're going to start coming up with all sorts of reasons why you shouldn't write that name down. I didn't say what we were going to do with these names. I just said write 5 names down. And if you sat there and you started questioning and doing stuff, that's your terrorist. You didn't take action. You sat there and you paused. You ever get behind somebody that's not driving very well? You can kind of tell they're not familiar with the city that you're in. And then all of a sudden they decide that they need to stop in the middle of the freeway because they're not sure if they need to go left or go right. That's dangerous. Doesn't matter. They know it's dangerous, but they don't know what to do next. And when people don't know what to do next, they sit down. They're paralyzed with fear. It's all the same stuff. So don't let that keep you out of action. Well, Casey, I'm not sure what to do. Do something, and we'll adjust it as we move forward. You'll find out that we do something around here called plan, do, review, adjust. We make a plan. That's what we'll do today. You're going to get out and take action. It's going to work, and some of it's not going to work. But we're going to take action. And we're going to learn from that, from reviewing and say, hey, did that do what I wanted it to do? Did I follow what I needed to do? If I did, great, no adjustments. Or that didn't work out. I need to adjust that. And if you're not clear on what to adjust, that's what I'm for. That's what all the leaders are for. We're here to help you with those reviews and those adjustments. We're here to help you with the plan. We cannot do the do. That's your part. You have to do it. So that's why I encourage you to make sure you got 5 names listed out right now. All right, next thing we're going to do. Next box in the system. When you were looking at that, it's the bio and the phone number. So here's the plan on a page. We got the names filled out. Now let's look at the bio and the phone number. What's the bio? How do you know this person? Do you work with them? Do you go to church with them? Do you go to school with them? Childhood friend? Family member? Aunt, uncle, cousin, mom, brother, sister? Again, you don't have to write war and peace here. Just write down a little bit of something that makes you think about them. All right? So let's go ahead and fill that out. Go ahead and fill that out on your page. So you should have 5 names. And then underneath that, I simply want you to write down how you know them. And if you got their phone number, write that down too. Don't worry too much on the phone number part. Let's just get the bio in there for now. We'll give everybody about 30 seconds to knock that out. Anybody got any questions? Anybody confused, lost, not sure what's going on? If you are, just simply unmute yourself and ask away.
Casey, I'll ask a question.
Yes, sir. What you got?
When you say bio, what do you mean by that? I mean, what type of information should I be putting down?
If how you know them? Simply, how do you know this person? So, do you know them from work? Do you know them from church? Do you know them from school? Just kind of how do you know this person? Not really looking for a whole bunch of information about them right now, but just kind of get your brain tuned into how do I know this guy? How long have I known him? When did we first meet? Do I see him every week? Do I see him every year? That sort of thing. Just something so that your mind starts getting out of your head and thinking into somebody else and focusing on them.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sure. Good question. All right. Let's move on. So you've got that filled out. So here's the next thing of what we want to do. The second most important thing you're going to do tonight. First one was your why. Filling out that top box, your desires. That's the number one thing. Because again, without that, everything else I'm saying is just noise. Rapport is the second most important thing. What we're going to do is we are going to focus on this person. Okay, we're going to take the first name in your list. You know how you know them. And you're going to reach out to them. And when you reach out to them, what we want to do is have a conversation. Okay? It's very important that you are not coming at this from a perspective of trying to get something from the other person. Okay? When that happens, you're going to get an icky feeling. You're going to feel awkward. You're not going to want to reach out to somebody because you've got it in your head you're trying to get something from them. And when that's awkward, again, people don't take action. The reason that is because you haven't got your head wrapped around this business just yet, that this business is not about you. This business is about the other person. This business is solely about identifying a need that somebody else may have. And if that need, find out their needs all the time. And if the need is something that we might be able to sort out for them, to solve for them, to fix for them, to transform their lives through that problem. If it's one of the things that we can help with, then we're going to offer a solution to them and impact their life. Now, are we going to get something as a result of that? Absolutely. That's why it's a business. But we will only get that if we fix that problem, if we solve a need that our friend has. So we must come at it from that perspective. Too many people in this profession, and I've seen this for many, many years. I used to do it too because I didn't know any better. But now I do. And I know that it is very important to not go out and simply carpet bomb everybody you know with a pitch. Will you get some customers that way? Absolutely. Is that what you're in this for? No. You're in here to impact a life. To do that, you got to make sure you identify a need. And if you have that need and you have the solution to it, then you've added true value. And when you add that value will continue to be provided, and that will continue the relationship, and that will continue them getting their problems solved. And when we help enough people get what they want, we get everything we want. That's how we get to our box, to our desires. We get to that by simply helping others. So what you're going to do with this step is you're going to be asking questions. You're going to start with a very profound question, and it's going to go something like this: hello, comma, how are you doing today? You can shorten it up and say, hello, how are you doing? 2 versions there. You take your pick. That's the one script I'm going to give you. But it's about having a conversation. That's how you get it started. And each time that you get confused on what to do, or you feel fish out of water, you're not quite sure, you're uncomfortable, you're out of your comfort zone, it's simply ask a question of your friend to find out what they've got going on. When you're having a conversation with somebody, have you ever done this before where you talk to somebody, say, hey, how you doing? And they go on for 20 minutes talking about themselves. It's not hard. It is not hard to get people to start talking about themselves. Simply get it started and let them speak. Let them talk. Don't override them with all your stories. You see this all the time. You ever go to lunch with somebody, and when you're there at lunch with them, you start a conversation up, and you're trying to share about something you did this weekend and say, oh, I saw this great show on Netflix. And before you can even get into your sentence, they have already jumped in and started talking about the movie that they watched, and they go on for 10 minutes about that, and they forgot you even started the conversation because it was all about them. Don't be that guy. Okay? Listen to them. Let them get through all of that, because if you're doing that and you're listening with 2 of these, using this 1 to 2, use that ratio, and let them go. They will tell you what's going on in their day. Let them get that story out, and then just barely start them up again. They've already got warmed up. Their vocal cords are working. And then just say, hey, that's cool. You watched that. Hey, how's the family going? It sounds like y'all had a good weekend. What else did y'all do? And then just start asking questions like that. They're going to start telling, oh, well, we had to go to the hospital, man. Aunt Susie is having an issue. Her blood pressure spiked all up. We had to get her to the doctor, and that was a crazy thing. And these are the things that are on their mind. When you hear that, you're building rapport with them. The best conversation, I promise you, I've literally had conversations that have gone on for an hour, and I might have contributed words coming out of my mouth, maybe 60 seconds worth, spread out over an hour. The rest of the time was them talking. And when we got done, they literally said the words, this was the best conversation I've had in years. And I just thought, yeah, this was awesome. I learned so much because they got to share about the most important thing, which is them. So let them do that. Let them share and continue to talk. Now, when they get to a point where they talk about one of these 4 items, wealth, health, time, or significance, dig in on those. Really, that's when you interrupt. You've been quiet for this whole time. Interrupt and say, hey, you just said something about wealth. Tell me about that. What are you trying to get there? And then they're going to notice that you've perked up all of a sudden in the conversation, and they're going to be kind of curious in the back of their mind. Why are they coming up about this? Question in the chat session. David had a great one. Make sure you show empathy and understand their situation. It's not about hearing their thing and having that key off into you to go talk more. It's simply for you to dig deeper into that moment. We have these forks in the road in conversations where it's going down a path, and then all of a sudden you jump in and you're going to do something. What you want to do is not go down a different tangent and talk about you. You want to keep them talking about them, but you want to ask a deeper question so we can go deeper down this path once they trigger one of these 4 things. So you have this conversation. They're talking about Aunt Susie. Maybe they start talking about how bad their job sucks. Has that conversation ever happened? Every Monday, right? And so when they say that and they say, man, I am so sick of my job. Really? Why is that? Well, Interesting. That sucks. Show empathy to it. Understand. Listen to what they say. Go look. What do you want to do different? Well, I don't know. I feel kind of stuck here. All of a sudden, you started hearing something that's important to them. So what do you want to do? You want to ask them, hey, why is that important to you? When you get that from them and they tell you, you want to go deeper with it. Okay. Now, if you don't know what's important to them, you're going to ask these questions like we've been talking about. Ask the questions and listen. Go deep. Make sure when you're doing this, you're being a friend. Okay. I want you to be able to write notes like you were sending it to the FBI afterwards, but I don't want you to be an FBI interrogator. I don't want you waterboarding them trying to get answers to your questions. Okay. I want you to have a conversation. I don't want you to have this be weird, but I want you to be intentional in the fact that you're asking them questions to be able to find out if they're interested in any of these areas. Have a conversation and be a human with them, okay? Now, when you do that, you want to be able to check off what this box is. And then once you're able to do that, you want to be able to check with them and say, hey, did I hear you right? Were you serious when you were saying that you wanted to be able to find another way to earn some income? When you're able to do that, you've got this step complete. And wait to hear what they say. If you got it wrong, ask better questions. Ask more questions. Go deep. Again, not interrogation style, but as a friend. Find out what's going on with your friend. Okay? So when we do that, we're going to do that, and I highly recommend you do that via text message. Okay? Now, if you don't text message, if you're just old school and you just like calling everybody, I'm good with that. I have no problem with that. And just have a conversation. If you like going out for coffee, go out for coffee with your friends, okay? But one of the quickest ways to get this understood is to do this via text. Literally, grab your phone, send a text message to these people and say, hey, how are you doing, okay? So here's what I want you to do. You all most likely have a phone. I'd like for you to take the first person in your list, and I'd like for you to send them a text message that simply says, hello, how are you doing, okay? Now, when you do this, when you send this, I don't want you to get all crazy like, well, what if they respond? I need to stop this so I can talk to them. No, it's a text message. I literally right now have, let's see how many I got right now. I bet I've got a few. I've got 11 unanswered texts right now on my phone, 11. All right. Now, nobody that sent me those texts is wondering what happened to me. Did he fall off a cliff? Is he in a ditch somewhere? Should I call for help? Now, if you're on a phone conversation with somebody and all of a sudden you go quiet on the phone, they're going to ask, hey, you still there? Everything okay? What happened? Hello? You there? People start freaking out a little bit if you're in the middle of a conversation on the phone and you stop. But if you're in the middle of a text conversation, all of a sudden they got busy. All right? Kid threw up on the floor or something. Dog had to go outside. I don't know, had to go get groceries or pick up the kid from soccer. Something happens. It's a text message. It is not a real-time communication tool. It's a send it out, wait a little bit, get a message back, wait a little bit, send another message out. And we do it that way for a reason, because who here is busy? We're all busy. It's important to be able to show that you can do this business while you're being busy, because it doesn't take long to send a text message. It sure doesn't take a long time to say, hey, how are you doing today? You can literally copy that and paste that in 10 different conversations, and you can get that done in under 60 seconds. So what I want you to do is send it out to just one person right now. Anybody that you know, a name, preferably they're still breathing. Send it to them and say, hello, how are you doing? So let's go ahead and do that right now. Grab those phones, send out a message, say, hello, how are you doing? If you've already sent it out to 1,000 people, let's make this be 1,001. There is somebody you have not sent this text to. I know Tara sent out to 20 people the other day when we were at an event on Saturday, and I can guarantee you she's got another person that she can send that to that says, hello, how are you doing? Isn't that right?
It is. And I want to also add, the reason I was able to do that was because David Jones taught me a little trick. Go out to your Facebook Messenger, look at who is currently on, who is green. Your Facebook Messenger has that ability, and you can go out, and that's how you can get a hold of people, because you can literally see that they are there. And in that time, when we were doing this on Saturday, I got 20 out, and I'm still in conversation with 7 or 8 of them, building rapport and digging in. So that's how you do it.
That's beautiful. Don't make this harder. Don't let that little terrorist guy show up and start talking you out of this. Oh, it's late. It's 8 o'clock. It's 8:21. Oh, they're probably asleep already, and I'm going to interrupt Jeopardy. No, that's your terrorist. You're sending them a text message. Send them a text message and say, hello, how are you doing? Now, here's the questions I get. What happens after they send that? And they reply, and they say, I'm fine. How are you? Don't make this weird, all right? Have a conversation with your friend. You maybe haven't talked to them in a while. This might be a little rusty for some of y'all. Some of y'all maybe haven't communicated with some people in a while. You might have to build some relationships back up again. That's good. That's a good thing. I promise you. I literally had a guy from college reached out to me today. His name's Victor Sanchez. He went by Gato. So he's the cat. He's a great tennis player. He's from Spain. I stayed in Spain with him for 2 weeks when I went and visited him way back in 1998, I think. So good buddy. We were roommates for a long time. It's not my birthday. It's coming up in 5 days, but he had it wrong in his thing. I wasn't going to correct him, man. He thought enough of me to say happy birthday. I was like, cool, man, thanks. How you doing? How's the kids? How's Blanca? You know, and we just started a conversation. So it's not weird. He and I have not talked in probably over a year and a half. And he thought enough of me to be able to send that. That was awesome. So I sent him one back. And we had a conversation. And it was great. And in that conversation, we're going to find out what's going on with them. So these conversations can go on literally over the span of a couple of days. All right. Hopefully you've had enough time to be able to send this out. Now, a lot of you don't have your video on, so I can't see if you grabbed your phone and sent a text message. So I can't hold you accountable to this. This is you holding yourself accountable. This is your business. These are your desires. These are your whys. You might have said, well, I'll do it later. I recommend that you remain very, very coachable and very, very hungry in this business. If you are, I will help take you all the way to the top of this business. It's what I do. And I love it. And I'm good at it. And I like doing it with more and more people. That's how I'm going to reach my goal. So follow this. Don't be too cool for school. Make sure you're doing these steps as we're going through. All right, somebody posted another chat. Let me see what that is. So when you're doing this, reminder, it's not for you to come out and say, hey, guess what? I just got started in this new business. Because when you do that, you're making it about you. Hey, I got this thing I need you to take a look at. No. Because nobody wants to go take a look at a thing. I promise you. Not a single person on the planet sitting here right now going, man, I hope somebody sends me some stuff that I got to go look into. No, they don't care at all. What you need to do is find out what they do care about. If they're sitting there watching TV and they got a hurt back and they haven't been able to sleep for 2 days, what you want to do is find that out. You want to ask some questions so that they'll share that. How have you been lately? Man, I'll be honest with you. Life's been sucking lately. I can't sleep. I'm laid up here on the couch. My back's killing me. It's not good. Boom. Really? Now you got something that you can talk about, and it's something they care about. But if you come at them with something, their shields go up, they glaze over, they don't. You walk into any department store or anything, a salesperson is going to come up and they're going to say, "Hello, how are you? How may I help you? What do? I'm good. I'm just looking." And you turn to the right and you get the heck out of there. Why? Because you really, no, they're trying to sell me something. Let's find out what I want first. Let me walk around. You know what? I need golf balls. I need to get some golf balls. Then all of a sudden they're looking for you. Hey, where the heck are all the sales guys when I need somebody to help me with golf balls? Well, if you would have asked the guy when you walked into the store right away, he could have pointed you to the golf balls. But no, our shields were up. Our defenses were up. So you want to make sure that you're not being that guy. They'll sniff a salesperson out a mile away, just like you do. When they start ringing on my doorbell and they want to sell me something, are you kidding me? Really? Do you think I was sitting here going, you know what I need? I need a whole bunch of new magazines. I sure hope. Oh, holy crap. Somebody rung my doorbell. Let's go see what they're selling magazines. What do you know? No, that's not how you do it. That's not how you do it. So make sure you're building this correctly. Make sure you're focusing about them, not about Kyani, not about blueberries, not about any of that. Okay. That part that we just did right there, that's the hardest part in this business, in our process, in our system. Honestly, that's the hardest part. Digging in to find out what somebody else is needing. That's it. The next part I'm going to show you is literally going to take about 47 seconds. Now, the conversation with them could be 2 minutes. It could take 2 days. It could take 2 weeks of back and forth chat with somebody. However long that portion takes, it's going to take. Don't try to push it. Don't try to make it weird. Don't try to get something out of this other than the only thing you're going to get is an understanding of the other person's needs. That's what you're there for. Once you've identified that, and they tell you one of the things that you can put a check mark in one of those boxes, and you can write out, if I checked health, why am I writing health? Because he's on back pain, on couch, can't sleep. That's what you would write in your box. That's what goes here on this line. Health, check mark, back pain, sleeping on the couch, not good. That's what you would write. When you're able to write that, then what you want to do is you want to ask them, this is the easy part, hey, I hear what you're saying about your back pain, not being able to sleep. Is that something that you want to fix? And then wait for an answer. If they say no, cool. They're the ones with the back pain. They're the ones not sleeping. Keep dealing with that. You ever talk to somebody that all they do is whine and complain, bitch and moan all the time, and they don't want to fix it? They don't want to make it better. What do they want to do? They just want to be the victim. They just want to keep talking. That's when their terrorist has full-blown hold of them, and they just keep spitting the same nonsense out all the time. They're not even aware that it's happening. So you will run into people, and this is going to be weird for you because if you had this problem, you would probably want to go fix it. But they don't. And when that's the case, that's no problem. Next, let them go. Do you want to fix that? Yes or no? Not really. Effectively, what they're saying, few will come out and say, no, not interested, but some will. Some people, especially on the money front, they'll say, hey, you've been talking about wanting to go on that trip for the last 3 years. I know you got the vacation days, but what you don't have is the money. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Is that something you want to fix? Well, I'm good. I'm all right. That's them effectively saying, no, I don't want to fix it. I want to sit right here and keep wallowing in it. Let them wallow in it. Here's what I'll tell you. You ain't going to fix them. Here's what it's going to do. It's going to irritate you. It's going to give fuel to your little terrorist that, oh, this isn't going to work. I'm telling you up front. April's got it down, man. I see her going, man. I love it. I'll tell you up front, there's going to be more people that you're going to float down. You're just going to kick them down the river and move on, and that's okay. That's the hardest part of this business for me is I want to fix it. I see a problem, I want to fix it. Ask my wife. I'm wanting to fix it before she finishes telling me the problem. I've gotten better about that too, by the way. I let her talk, get it all out, give her a hug. Then I wait to ask her. I wait for her to ask me, would you fix it? I don't offer a solution. So that's going to happen. That's going to happen. You're going to want to fix it. They don't want to fix it. And they're living in it. All right. That's you. You be you. But you're looking for the ones that want to fix it. You want to look for the ones that when they are sleeping on the couch and they got back pain and they can't get any sleep, and you say, you want to fix that? They go, hell yes. What do you have? That's who you're looking for. That's who you can help. So that part's real easy. Hey, you want to fix that? And if they say yes, then you say, great. I know somebody that I need to get you in touch with. They can help you fix that. I know a guy. That's it. That's that part. Are you serious about fixing that? Let me give you some examples on how you can ask this. Are you serious about fixing that? How long have you been dealing with that? Is that something you want to rectify? Figure out how intense they are about it. If you aren't getting goosebumps, then they're not passionate about fixing it. Keep digging. You might hear what you think is a problem that's not really their problem. Do they have a problem? Yes. Keep digging. Go back and ask some better questions. Hey, man, what I'm hearing is you got some background. Oh, it's not too bad. I mean, I just tweaked it a little bit this weekend. Okay, got that wrong. No problem. What else did you do this weekend? Well, you know what we wanted to do is we were talking about going on a trip to Hawaii that we can't afford. Aha. Tell me about that. Why do you want to go to Hawaii? What's in Hawaii? What do you feel that you want to go there? Why is that important to you? It's a great question. Why is that important to you? Keep digging in. Keep finding out their why. I want to go to Hawaii because that's where my ancestors are from. We haven't been back. I want to show my kids, where I came from. I want to get over it. Well, rock and roll, man. How bad do you want to do that? How serious are you about getting there? How tired are you of saying someday I'm going to get there? Because you know where someday is on the calendar? Yeah, it doesn't exist. Nowhere on the calendar does it say someday. How about we pick a date? When do you want to get that done by? Honestly, I want to get it done by next summer. I want to go by next summer. All right. How much is it going to cost? Oh, man, I don't know. Well, you need to figure that out. All right. So $12,000 round trip, family, 2 weeks, whole thing. All right. How bad do you want to make $12,000? Pretty freaking bad. And when you hear it, you hear it because the hair stands up on your arms. Now you know they're serious. Now you got somebody that's willing to go get something done. Because I promise you, I have zero interest in working with people that have no desire. If that irritates you, I'm cool with that. I do not care. I am here for results. I am like a coach. You might not love me. You might not like me, but we're going to get results. That's what I'm here for. Now, I'd rather do it where everybody's happy, patting each other on the back and everything, but I will say some things that might hurt and sting sometimes. I'm okay with that. I want that to be another lens that you put glasses on and go, I hadn't seen it that way. Thank you. You might hate me for a couple days. You might come in and give me a hug the next day. I'm cool with that. So when you figure out that they're serious and you've gauged it and you feel the heat, now you know. The next thing that you need to do is you need to pass the ball. Here's where people mess up. Once you've gotten to this point, this is the next landmine that you need to miss out. You don't want to step on this one. Here's what most people do. They want to be the plumber. Let me give you an example. I went over to David and Tara's house. They made some unbelievable ribs. I mean, the best literally that I've ever eaten. And David and Tara, we need to make that happen again. And when we're over there, Tara's cleaning up. She's just keeping an amazing kitchen. David's over here cutting and cooking and doing, and Tara's over here cleaning up the dish and everything. And we're sitting there chatting, and all of a sudden, the sink backs up. And water starts shooting out of the sink. And it's like, whoa, I look at that and I go, that's not good. From my powers of observation, I'm able to identify that's not a good situation. And I say, hey, Tara, looks like you got a plumbing problem right there. She's like, yeah, no kidding. You think? Yeah, water's squirting straight up. Yeah, that's not good. Now, here's what most people will do in that situation in this business, to use the analogy, is that they're going to simply, Tara, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out to the Mercedes, and I happen to have a saw, a wrench, and a screwdriver. I'm going to get down underneath your sink. I'm going to fix this. And they're looking at me going, no, you're not. You have no qualifications to do so. I prefer that you don't crawl underneath my sink and jack it up worse. I got a bad situation here. Here's what you should be doing instead is, hey, Tara, I see that you got a sink problem. Is that right? Yep. Tara, is that something that you want to fix? Yeah, I would like to fix that. Or she could say, no, I don't want to fix it. Hey, cool. Thanks for the ribs. Good luck with your sink. I'm going to head on to the house. Not my sink. I'm good. I want to help you on your sink, but if you don't want me to help you on your sink, you deal with your sink. Yeah, Casey, I want you to help me fix my sink. What's the deal? It's like, here's the deal. I happen to know a plumber. He lives 4 minutes from here, and he can get over here and fix this problem. Do you want to talk to him? What's she going to say? Yeah, could you maybe even go ahead and dial the number for me and then hand me the phone? I got to get a towel. That's what I want you guys to do. Y'all aren't the plumber, all right? But you know a plumber. You know me. You use me in this situation. Hey, you want to fix your health problem? Hey, I know a guy. You want to talk to him? Cool. Let me get him on the phone for you. Not, let me tell you about this new opportunity that I have that I just got started in 2 days ago that I know absolutely nothing about, and act like I know what I'm talking about and try to sell you a whole bunch of stuff. We all know where that's going to go. Nowhere. So instead, pass it over. Because here's the deal. You don't possess the proof. You don't have that yet. You will get that. I will help you get that. And down the road, if you want to be the proof person, I'm cool with that. David and Tara are getting to that point where they're the proof person. Brian Penzo is one of the proof people. When you get you 2 of these, you can be the proof person. But until then, let me be the proof. Here's why this is important to do this. Because if you don't try to fix their sink, it takes 47 seconds to do this business. If you simply say, hey, I heard you say you got a problem. Is that right? Yep. You want to fix that? Yep. You want to talk to my guy that can fix that? Yep. Cool. Done. Let me get you in touch with him. There's no time. There's no time issue there. There's no objection of time. So it destroys the time excuse, which will be the biggest one that you run into. People are going to say, oh, I don't have time. You got the same 24 hours. You just don't have any extra because you got them all scheduled right now. Well, here's the deal. You do have 47 seconds if you prioritize, if you want to help another human being. If you do, you can do this business. If you don't, that can't be the excuse. You just got other excuses. You're too lazy. You don't see a way to do this. You failed at other things before. You've never been successful at that before. Who's that sound like? That sounds like that guy that sits right there and talks in their ear. Okay? What we're doing is we're destroying a key excuse that little terrorist is going to use. And so we're going to put a bullet in his brain, temporarily wound him so that your friend will awaken and say, you know what? I can do that. I do see a way of driving this vehicle. I do see a way that I can get to Miami. Because basically what you're saying is, hey, you want to go to Miami? They're like, hell yeah. Like, good. You want to walk? No, they're not leaving the house. They ain't got a vehicle. They don't know how to get there. So you need to let them know that there's a potential and there's a guy that's going to be able to help them do that. So they'll get on the phone with me. Okay? Now, here's what you need to do. You need to monitor your interaction when you're doing this. Sometimes when you're passing the ball to me, these people are going to get distracted by life. Something's going to happen. There was a whole lot other. There were several other people that were going to be on here tonight, and I got a text message a little bit ago that said they couldn't make it. Life's going to happen. So what you got to do is reframe it. You don't bark at them and say, hey, I thought you wanted to do this. No, you bring it back and say, hey, you were telling me the other day how you want to be able to get to Hawaii and bring your families to their ancestral grounds to see what's going on there. Is that still a desire for you? Yeah, it is, man. I just got busy. Cool. You know they're still interested. They still have a desire. If you come out and say, hey, why didn't you talk to my guy? They're like, no, now you got conflict. Now you got egos fighting. Now you got 2 terrorists running at each other. You don't need that. You want to make it about them. You want to make it about their why again, and you want to see if they're still serious. They might not, no, I just don't have time. It's like, man, I understand everybody. No, you don't get it, man. I'm just too busy. Cool. You keep not going to Hawaii. I'm good. I got somebody else I need to chat with. Because we're looking for the lookers here. We literally have this golden goose that I'm walking around with. And he's handing out, he is pumping out eggs, golden eggs. And there are people that are saying, oh, that's too far to bend down to pick one of those up. You know what? You keep doing what you're doing. Somebody's got to work on my Mercedes at the Mercedes dealership. Somebody has got to be able to cook my food. Somebody's got to be able to fly the airplane. Y'all keep doing that. I'm good with that, if that's what you desire. Now, what really sucks is when you know they desire something else, but their terrorist is getting a hold of them and not getting them and allowing them to go and do what they want to do. That's the worst when you see people that are unawakened. Work on that. Okay, so here's the deal. You're not the plumber. Pass the ball. When you pass the ball, here's how it's going to go. You're going to pass it to this guy wearing this blue suit, looking at – that look kind of familiar? That's where we did it, right here in this chair, but that was the background. So that's where the video was. And this guy's going to talk for about 33 minutes. So when you say, I know a guy that can fix that, we're going to eventually get them here. Now, I'm going to take care of that part for you. You don't have to do that. But I just want you to know that's where it's going to go. We're going to send them to this video. Very good chance you all saw this video. If you didn't, definitely take a look at it. And I'll show you how to get it and where you can look at it before. But I'm going to do my thing. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Casey Salgi. I appreciate you making a few moments to sit with me here. I'm going to get into my story here so we're not complete strangers, but you might be wondering, why am I watching this guy on this video? So we obviously don't know each other, but the chances are that you were speaking with somebody that I work with, and these folks are absolutely amazing. I've enjoyed working with the entire organization. And there's a good chance that you were in a conversation with one of my team members. And at some point you were having in this conversation, something came up. You started sharing some information with them. They were sharing some information with you. And chances are one of a couple of topics might have arisen. There's a chance that you might have gotten into a conversation talking about money, talking about wealth. A way to be able to maybe earn some more income or maybe have some extra income coming into your bank account. There's a chance that the conversation was around health and how you know somebody that might need a little extra health in their life, or maybe it is you, and that piques your curiosity and they ask you to take a look at this as well. It could have been also something around the lines of you don't really have enough time to be able to go do what you want. You might be working too many hours. You might own your own business and constantly working. And I definitely know what it means to be busy. Definitely know what it means to not have enough time to do all the things that you have on your list. And it could have been a fourth item, and that was significance. Being able to do something that actually means something. We work so hard so often at things that really, when the day comes to a close, you look back and you reflect on it and you go, yeah, maybe I added a little bit of value, but is it really something that, they're going to put a statue up about me? And a lot of people say, oh, that's just not something that can be done. But, if it's something that you desire and it's something that you're looking for, you've come to the right place. So chances are it's one of those four items that was in a conversation. And then at some point, probably the conversation went along the lines of, well, if you want to fix that, then I want to introduce you to a guy. And I'm that guy. So my name is Casey Salgi. I appreciate you. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we're ultimately pushing towards, is to get them to engage with this video or with me in a conversation on the phone. Now, 99% of people, they don't really want to talk to me on the phone. They don't know me. And so they'll be a lot more likely to want to watch the video. And there's going to be a process that we're going to go through that's going to get them to that. So what you're going to do is you're simply going to have the conversation with them, find out what it is they want, find out if they want to fix it, and then let them know, hey, I got a guy that I want to introduce you to. And they're going to say, great, how are you going to do that? You say, I'm going to send you a text message, all right? When I send you this text message, I'm going to introduce him, and I'm going to introduce you, and then I'll let him jump in from there. You're going to say, great. And I'm going to show you how to do that here at the end. So that's the process that's going to happen. Then I'm going to get on a chat with them on a text message, and I want to say hello, thank you for the wonderful introduction. And then I'm going to ask them, what do you know about what it is that we do here, if anything? Their answer better be, I don't have a damn clue. I don't know why I'm even talking to you. I know your name. That's the extent of it. And that's what we want to happen. because I want to be able to point back when they say, well, I can't do that. It's like, can't do what? What did your friend April do? Your friend April found out that you had back pain. You're sleeping on the couch. And then she said, do you want to fix that? You said yes. And she introduced you to me. You can't do that? Oh, I can drive this car. I do know how to operate this vehicle. That's possible for me. I can get to Miami now. Okay? Because when people don't know how to get somewhere, they don't even leave. I can tell you, hey, we're going to Miami. I can tell you, we got a jet. Tara isn't using the jet. We're going to use the jet. You're like, heck yes. When are we going? We're going tomorrow. I'm so excited. But here's the deal, April. You got to fly the jet. Ooh, we ain't going to Miami now, are we? I was excited about Miami. Had a badass plane to get me there, but I don't know how to fly the plane. People want to do these things. They want to fix all of these problems. They want to have all this money. They've got a vehicle that will do it for them in Kyani, but they don't know how to operate the vehicle.
That's why we'll call you.
That's what I'm here for. You got it. I know how to fly this thing. We'll do loop-de-loops. We'll barrel roll 800 miles an hour. Let's go. That's what we've got here. And I want you all to feel that. I want you to see that. I want you to understand what's gone into putting this together is not trivial. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. But what's so cool is when people see it take off. We literally had a group come on as a result on Friday. There was one conversation. That conversation was about health. They said, let me get you on with the guy that can explain this thing. He's the expert. I got on the phone with that person. This was on Thursday. It was on Thursday that we had the initial talk. He came on board on Friday before it was all said and done. As a result of that, 6 people joined the business using this system. And somebody that had just gotten on board literally was able to use this system instantly and say, I got somebody else that might be interested in this. I said, great. Showed them how to do it. They said, hey, I got a guy you need to talk to. He was excited. They got excited. I said, yeah, I'll talk to him. I talked to him. They joined. I said, do you know anybody else? Yeah, such and such. Great. Here's what you say. I can do that. Great. I know a guy. You want to talk to him? Yeah. You on the phone? Got done with them? They're in too. 6 people, 48 hours using this system. Boom, boom, boom. That was this weekend. It's that simple. I saw a hand go up. Mr. Brian Pinso, what do you have, sir?
Mr. Casey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to talk to you about is that you're right. We do have the golden goose, and not everybody's looking for an egg. And, you know, I talked to a guy 2 weeks ago, and I told him if he ever decided he was looking for something to, shoot me a call. He shot me a call, and I lined up a second call with him. And he says, yeah, man. No, actually, he was texting him. I said, well, we need to get on a short call. And he stood me up. So it's like, I'm done with him. We got to understand, do not chase these people. We have the golden goose and the conveyor that pumps them out. You do not spend a lot of time on people that do not want to talk to you, because there are 8 some odd million people in this city. There are people out there that want to speak with us. And the longer that we mess and around with chasing people, the less we have an opportunity to find the ones that are willing to talk to us, because that's what this system is all about. We don't want to talk to anybody who's not interested in talking to us. And I wanted to put that out there to make sure that you guys understand that you can take this away. I mean, when you pull this away from somebody, that a lot of time gets them to thinking, wow, what did I just miss out? Because this guy's not hounding me. He just took it away. It's, we have it. And if they don't want it, that's fine. Let them stay in that job. They only got another 30, 40, 50 years of working their life off being a slave, and they're going to end up broke like the other 97% of the country. That's fine. If you like being broke, then cool. Don't change anything. So anyway, just don't chase them is what I'm telling you. Just be willing to pull it away from them and move on to the next people, because that's what this is all about. Amen. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing that. As well said. And let me show you this is the Jade Factory logo. Okay, this is the big blown up version portion of it. And let me explain to you what this factory does. This is what's been built for you. Here's your part. All right, we're gonna start off with, we're gonna start off with down here. You've got a dump truck. Okay, this is gonna visualize, and I want you guys, as you're looking at this, let your mind's eye view this as well. You've got a dump truck that you're going to show up to the factory. And when you get to this factory, you're going to back your dump truck up, and you've got these raw material pieces here that's going to come out the back of your dump truck onto this conveyor belt. And then you're going to go park your dump truck, and you're going to walk into the factory. And when you walk into the factory, you're walking to your workstation. And you see your workstation in the factory. And then above your workstation is a big canvas, big old canvas. And on it are two letters for Tara that says M and M. That's your desire. That's what goes in there. That's the visualization of everything, the jet, the helping people, what it looks like to have a water well in Tanzania that you were able to help contribute to, what it looks like at the Veterans Village on 100 acres where these people are being able to be reintegrated and helped since they put it all on the line. Those things. That's what you see at the top of your workstation. That's why you go to work. And as you're walking up to your workstation, you see a control panel. And it's got 3 controls on it. On the left, there's this light switch that you see here in the picture. A simple light switch. And when you flip that light switch, a big, bright, unbelievable light shines right there onto your workstation where the first piece of raw material that you dumped off onto your conveyor belt shows up at your workstation. And the conveyor belt stops and this raw material is right in front of you and this bright light is shining on this. That's you asking questions of your friend. It's finding out what this piece of material needs to be turned into an unbelievable sculpture. Where are the cracks? Where are the issues? Where are the fissures? Where are the things that they need assistance in addressing? That's the light switch. You keep asking that until you hear the thing. And you'll know the thing when you hear it. It'll be one of the things. It'll fit in one of those 4 boxes. You'll be able to write it in underneath. When that happens, you're done with that step. The next control on your control panel is in the middle, and it's a dial. You're going to dial it in. You're going to find out how important that is to them. You're going to weigh it. It's going to go from a 1 to a 10. If it's a 1, they don't want to fix it. Guy Brian was talking about sounded like it was a 10, weighed it in, wanted to have another conversation to really find out. What did he find out? It was a 1. Why? Because the guy won't call him back, won't do his thing, blah, 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 blah. Multiple opportunities, keeps passing them up, won't even return a phone call. What is that? That's a 1. Once you get that dialed in, here's the next step that you do. You see that lever on the right-hand side? That's the 3rd control on the control panel. It's a lever. You pull that lever. What does that do? It sends the raw material to its next location. If it's a 1 and you pull the lever, it goes down a special exit chute and it goes to that little river that's behind the factory, and we pollute the river with that raw material. We send it right on down the river. Bye-bye. You keep parking cars. Somebody's got to park my Mercedes when I get to the restaurant. I cannot park it in the garage and walk all the way down. That doesn't work for me anymore. I got people that do this for me now. If you want to be that guy, he desires to do that. He desires to do that more than he desires to have a conversation with somebody that he reached back out to. Cool, man. Do what you do. I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to lose any sleep about it. I'm going to send it down the river. Now, here's what's cool about this river. When they go down that river, it's like they're in a little inner tube, and they get down there, and that little raw material is in the inner tube, and it goes down the river, and they got one hand, and they're just floating in circles. They're just paddling in circles. They're not going nowhere. Just lazy river, just paddling, not doing much of nothing. Now, what will happen is they'll come back around, and we'll pluck them out. We'll put them back in the dump truck and bring them back through the factory again later. Because here's the deal: the guy that Brian was talking to, who knows what happened to him? We don't know. Let's not build a story. We just know at this moment he's a 1. Maybe his dog died. Maybe he had to wash his hair. I don't know. But I bet you in 3 months his life's going to be different. Because if you don't know, every 3 months your life's different. Look back at your last 3 to 6 months and tell me if things are different. That's the constant. Everything's going to change. So find out later, pick them back up, but don't sit them there and back up the rest of the factory. We got more raw material here that wants to be fixed. So for the ones, when they weigh them and it's a 10, they do want to fix this. We pull the lever. It doesn't go out the exit chute. It goes a different way in the factory. It goes to my workstation. It comes and sees me. I do what I do. I do my part. I'm the guy. I'm the proof. I'm going to be able to work with them and figure that out. People say, Casey, how can you possibly answer all those questions? Because I got a video that does it for me. Y'all just saw it. 33-minute video. That can play a gazillion times an hour. And that's going to find out if they're interested. Ooh, I like that key right there, Tara. Turn that around. What's that say on there? Pull that up close so we see what that little design is on there. Does that say Dream Car Program from Kyani? Yes, it does. That means that lady is car qualified. That's pretty cool. White car coming up. David and Tara. I love it. So when it goes to the next workstation, it comes and sees me. It's an automated factory. Now, some people want to talk to me. I'll talk to as many as I can. But here's the deal. There's a lot of leaders. There's a lot of people that can be that guy. You'll have more and more people. As this grows and scales, you'll have more and more people that will take those phone calls. But the video is the thing that does it. That part is automated. When I get done with them, I'm going to keep working with them, and then they're going to see that they want to do this. They're not going to go down the river. They're going to get them a workstation in the factory. They're going to bring their dump truck in. And when they do that, I'm telling you, if you have 20 pieces of raw material, you're going to end up with 3 new people in the business with you. Get 20 people to interact with me. We'll put 3 of them in your business, guaranteed. Chances are a whole lot more than that, if they'll engage with me. Here's the deal. When I do this, I'm somewhere between 14 to 16 yeses out of 20 people. That's what I do. They just got to get to that point. Now, a lot of them won't even get to that point. That's why you're pre-qualifying them. That's why you're polluting the river. But once you get them past that point and they get to the next workstation, pretty good chance we're going to keep moving in. Why? Because they're serious and they really do want to actually address their problems. If you've done a good job of identifying what their need is and you just get them to me and they truly want to fix it, magic happens. Problem is they're not walking around with a little light bulb above their head that goes off when they actually do truly want to fix it. So you're going to have to actually go talk to them. You're going to have a conversation with them. And when you do, this just keeps spitting out. This little guy's green because he spits out Jades. Jade's constantly coming out of this factory over and over and again. The average Jade earns $300 a month. That's not going to get you the jet at $300 a month. But here's what it will do. $300. 3 $100 bills sitting on the ground when you get out of the parking garage tomorrow. Do you pick them up? Is it the coolest day ever? Yes, it was. That's probably a 10% raise for most people in America right now. They're making $3,000 a month, extra $300. That's a 10% raise. When's the last time you got a 10% raise? We work on that. And once we show that works, then what we're going to do is with each one of those people that came on board, we're going to do the same thing with them, and then you're going to be a pearl. And we're going to do the same thing with those people, and then you're going to be a sapphire, and you're going to be holding up one of those keys that Tara just held up. And then after that, we're going to get you the next rank, which is ruby. That's about $3,500 a month. Now people are looking at retiring, no longer going in, working at that job they don't like. Then after that, you're going to make it to emerald. When you get emerald, they're going to send you a $5,000 high five. Here's a check for $5,000. And we're going to send you on a 7-day cruise with your significant other for 7 days. Everything's taken care of. You just get there. Get to the boat. We got it from there. On the biggest ocean liner on the planet. They just finished that trip up in the Mediterranean. Next year it's going to be in the Caribbean. Pretty powerful stuff. Do it one more time. And then it's diamond. $1,200 a month for your car. $14,000 a month on average is what that position's paying. So here's the thing that I want to wrap up with is events. This was an event. This webinar is an event. There's very few times that you're going to have to get in your car and go somewhere. We don't do that in the Jade factory. We do it online because I'm much more comfortable sitting here in my beautiful house than I am driving all around town 6 days a week. That's what we used to do back in the day. We would burn up fuel. We would be at a different neighborhood, different house, parking, trying to figure it out so we can have a presentation at somebody's house. We get done with that. We'd eat bad because it's right there in prime time. I promise you I'd rather eat with my family. I love y'all, but I love them and having dinner with them a whole lot more. I don't want to forego that. I want to be able to not just have a team that's local. I want a team that literally spans from Costa Rica to Canada, from LA to India. That's the size of my organization. Why? Because we follow this system. But every once in a while, we do get together face to face, and this is the biggest one that you can possibly get yourself registered for. This is going to be in Salt Lake City. It's going to be in May of next year. Well, Casey, I don't know what I'm going to have for lunch tomorrow, much less what I'm doing in May of next year. So here's the deal. That's reactive. I know exactly what I'm going to have for lunch tomorrow. I'm going to Nick's Seafood. I'm going to spend a stupid amount of money there too. Why? Because I haven't been there. Somebody recommended it. I said, hell, let's go do this. I designed my day already. I already know where I'm going to be in May too. I'm going to be in Salt Lake City. I'm designing what I want to do. I had a buddy, he gave me the best compliment I've had in a very long time. He said, you have designed an amazing life right now, my friend. I'm like, holy crap. I got weepy on that one. Set your course, decide where you're going, and tell everybody, I'm going to Salt Lake City in May. Deal with it. Why are you doing that? Because I've got a desire. Let me explain it to you. I need a jet. I need $1 million a minute. I ain't going to do that sitting with you in this cubicle. I'm going to do it in Salt Lake City, surrounded by 10,000 other people that are also going towards their dreams. And I'm going to learn all about this Kyani vehicle that I got a hold of. Because I'm pretty sure I know how to fly it, but I bet it's got more cool, neat tips and tricks that I haven't figured out just yet. So I'm going to go check into that. And that's what this event is for. It'll knock your belief level into the stratosphere. It'll show you even more about what this thing is all about. It'll show you who actually constructed the vehicle. It'll let you see the billionaires in their heart and where they're at with their charities that they have. They don't need your money. They don't take any money out. None. Zero. That's why they pay us 55% to the field. Any other business, 10 to 15%. My last company, 12 to 15% came back out to the field. 12th largest direct seller on the planet. That's great. If you're only giving out freaking pennies, that's not hard to hit that. Good for you. 55% payout here. So folks, make sure you get yourself registered for this event. If you've just got enrolled, you have 3 days to call in and make sure you get your ticket for the cheapest price that you can get, which is $129. If you don't get your ticket in your first 3 days, no problem. You can still get a ticket. It's just normal price, and that's $179. Now, here's the deal. That price does creep up as we get closer to the event. At the end of the year, I think it'll be up to $199. Then it'll go up to $229, and when it's all said and done, it'll be $259, I believe. So the only thing that you're doing is just wasting money if you don't get your ticket, because you need to get this ticket. You need to go to this event. Now, it's not required. It is highly, highly, highly recommended by the guy that's got 2 of these, okay? Do I get anything out of you going? No. Nothing. All I get is a team member that actually gets it to a level that's impossible for me to be able to describe to you. I can have you watch a concert on TV, or I can have you actually go to the concert hall. There is no there's no way of comparing those two things. It's hard for me to explain why, but when you go do it, you understand why. Go to that event. Make sure you get that ticket and get signed up for that. All right. So that's the end of my presentation. That's the end of the launch. Now, here's the deal. You've actually, if you followed the instructions, you have actually done what it is that we do in this business. You have actually done the steps necessary to be successful in this business because you reached out to somebody and said, hi, how are you? You showed an interest in another human being by asking them how they're doing. And you keep asking those questions until you figure it out of what it is they desire. Once you have that, you're simply going to ask them if they want to truly fix that. If they do, you're going to know a guy and you're going to recommend them to me. And that's it. The text that you're going to send, whoops, push the wrong button here. Let me share my screen again. The text that you're going to send can be found online at this website again. I sent this at the beginning, the Power Hour website, and it's right there. And you simply copy and paste that. Now, when you do that, notice here it says prospect's name. Very, very important. Replace that with your friend's name. Okay? You'll feel really silly if you send this text without fixing that part. It has happened. Don't be that guy. I can automate it only so far. You have to take this part from parenthesis to parenthesis and change the name. All right? Other than that, you got it. You got all the parts. So do that. Make that happen. Don't sit here thinking about it. Ask your friend how they're doing. Now, here's why we text it. If you get stuck and they send something, you don't know what to do, you get with me, you get with your upline leader, and you say, what should I do here? This is what they sent me. Take a screenshot, send it to your leader. They will tell you what to type next. It's literally done for you. Okay? You just got to take the action. All right? Anybody have any questions before we wrap it up?
Awesome presentation. Thank you, Mr. Casey.
Thank you, Miss April. I appreciate you. For continuing education, I have Power Hour. That's what that site's for. It has all the details on it. Let me share that one more time and scroll up to the top. At the top of this page, it lets you know that Power Hour is on Mondays and Thursdays. It's the same link that you used to be in here tonight. It's the exact same link. It's from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. If you don't know what it's about, you can click that little picture right there and I start talking again. There's a lot of places. You can go back with all the Power Hours I've done from December of last year. You can just keep scrolling back and looking at all of them. If you want extra information, more detail, there's so much stuff that's in there. Every one of them is different. Every one of them takes a different topic and discusses it, and it's interactive. What this is for, I do these live on Mondays and Thursdays. It's for you all that have now been launched. You've been launched now. It's for you to come to those for continuing. You got questions, you get out there in the field. That's where we do the review. Remember I said plan, do, review, adjust. You got a plan now. You go out, you do the stuff, and then we're going to review it in Power Hour. That's where you come back and you say, hey, I did this. I'm not quite sure. Could I have done this better? What should I have done? What do you think? I'm about to do this. That's your place for real-time golf lessons with the pro, okay? And that's done Mondays and Thursdays, 9 to 10 o'clock, same channel. 24 hours from now, we'll have our next one. You can come there. So you got a whole day that you can go out and practice all this stuff and then come back and say, hey, here's what I found. Here's what I did. Can you give me some tips, tricks? How would you do this different? And then when you share that, everybody else gets to learn from that also. Very powerful. And I conduct those live. Okay, so that's where you can go for continuing after we get done here. You're not alone. You're not by yourself. This is just the first training. And I promise you, come to that. Come to that, come to that, come to that. I don't care what rank you are. There is always something to learn, or you can practice your skills in teaching others and sharing those stories. Okay, any other questions? Thank you, April, for the great compliment. I appreciate it. Any other questions from anybody? Mindy's got her ticket. Wonderful. I love it. I love it. Going to Salt Lake City. Very good. Very good. All right. And if anybody wants to go to some really crazy best training on planet Earth ever for the profession, there's an event in Las Vegas in December. I believe in this event so much, I bought $18,000 worth of tickets 1 year ago to be able to get the deepest discount available. This ticket is normally $747 for a 3-day event with the best in the world from all different companies coming together, sharing their tips and tricks and their systems with the entire audience. There'll be over 10,000 people at this event at the MGM in Las Vegas in December 4th through 6th. I bought so many tickets that I actually get the cheapest discount they've got, and I'm passing that on. And so you're getting them at my cost, which was $365 a ticket when I bought that many of them. Okay. So if you want to go to that, some really cheap flights from getting to Las Vegas during that week, it's going to be amazing. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Let me know quick. I've only got, I think I've got 6 more, maybe 7 more tickets, something like that. So I will get rid of all of those before the event. And if you'd like to get one of those before anybody else, let me know that and just send me a message. Let me give you my phone number too, in case you don't have it. It's 832-771-0730. If you don't already have that, you can reach me at that number. You can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I do not answer those hours, but you can call me, leave me a message. If I'm with my family, I don't answer. If I'm doing one of these, I don't answer. When I get done, then I will reach back out to you as quick as I can and help you with whatever questions that you got. With that, I appreciate you guys being on. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. I hope to see you on Power Hour tomorrow, and I am excited to see you guys soar, have a ton of success, and most importantly, impact a whole bunch of lives with what we do. All right, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see y'all soon. Take care.
Thank you.